Hi there, welcome to this quick intro video on how to use and modulate the guidance charts using the guidance chart workspaces that we've provided. You can use these as templates. We've included a number of different products and symbol formats so that you can find the one that will suit the data provider that you're using. For equities, that's going to be pretty standard. We've got a 3 and 10 minute chart there, daily, weekly, and for your futures products, we have a 3 and 10 configuration using a number of different symbol formats. All right, so the advantage of using the guidance chart really is going to come down to leveraging the same signals that we have been trading with the trend, staying with it, and trying to win big and lose small. As you can see here, when the markets are down, there can be signals that go against the major trend direction. So leveraging the big picture, adding on that adding on that 10-minute guidance support or resistance can be very helpful, particularly during periods like this where prices are pulling right back and then continuing down with the major trend. Keeps us in the right direction, and it can also help a lot when we're dealing with choppy markets. All right, now we can take a look at another one of these workspaces. Let's take a look at the Apple Daily Weekly configuration. And as you can see here, it's the same sort of thing. You've got the daily chart, we've got the buy signal here from the daily chart, and we see that prices recently came down, but we can also observe that within the weekly chart or the bigger picture, the market's in a downtrend. So this trade would have, could have come off for a bit of a profit or about a scratch. But it helps us to kind of be aware of what's happening in the big picture. All right, so let's take a look at some ways that you might find it useful to modulate these workspaces. The first thing that we may want to do is to change the time frame. So currently we're looking at a 3 and 10 minute chart. We might be able to use different types of configurations for different types of volatility. Right now, the 3 and the 10 is our go-to configuration for trading most products. But if you have a very volatile product like crude oil was back when the ATR was up around 3, then we could also go down to potentially a shorter time horizon. Another way that we could potentially modulate the workspace is to change the symbol to make new workspaces based on the existing ones. So maybe I like the ES310 workspace, but primarily a trading the NQ or trading Russell. So we can change the symbol. And the final way that we can modulate things is to just change up the ways that the indicators are plotted. So as you can see here, just typing on the keyboard NQ, going ahead and changing the symbol first. It's important that we click here for all chart, so it does change both time frames. And again, you don't have to click anywhere special. You just begin typing on your keyboard. So here I'm just typing TFZ5 and clicking all chart, and then I'll change it over to December Russell. Now this is particularly easy to do when we have a workspace that we've loaded in correctly, but let's say for example we open up the wrong symbol format. You'll see here it actually reads no history data returned. So what we'll need to do is actually go about this in a slightly different way. Just click on format symbol. That's that red S icon on the toolbar. Let's go ahead and add a space in for the data feed that I'm using here. And the symbol formats vary for different feeds. So if you're using a broker supported feed, they may use a space or no space or some other thing. Alternatively, you can right click on the chart and click on format symbol that way as well. So you see it gets to the same place. All right, so again, right click, and here we'll just change this to TF, and click OK, and you'll see we've done the same thing. All right, so as we said before, one of the things that we can do is to actually use this as a template. You can see right now, this reads the guidance template for ES. So what we'll do is click here for Save Workspace As, and we'll just type a new name in. Here we're going to call this TF 310, so we know this is a Russell 3 and 10 minute chart, and you'll see that it's reflected down there in the tab. And when we come up here to open the workspaces, you'll see that the workspace template that we used is still there and unchanged. So effectively, we've created a new workspace using the template from before. Next, we can go ahead and change the time frame. So again, we can just come up here to the format symbol icon here and just go ahead and change this. So right now we're looking at a 10-minute chart. We can change this to a 15-minute chart. Be sure to click on format and then click OK. And that will change the format, change the time frame. So now we're looking at 3 and 15. Again, you can also do this by right-clicking on the chart and clicking on that same format symbol icon there. Another way that we can do this is to actually just click on the bar. So if we click on the bar, we have 2 different time frames, so we'll need to specify which one we want to change. You'll see the little dots around here for the 3-minute time frame, and if we just type, we'll be able to change the time frame. So again, here just clicking on the dot, and then you don't need to type anywhere specific, just type on your keyboard. In this case, let's go ahead and change this to 5. And you'll see that above it says which time frame that we're changing. So go ahead and pressing enter. Now we're looking at a 5 and 1 minute chart. And again, we can save this as a template, just coming up to File, Save Workspace As, and we'll just use the same naming convention. We'll just call this TF15 and save as. All right, and now you can see we've got our 1 5-minute open. We've got now our TF 3 and 10-minute chart open, and we were able to make these both using the template that existed from the ES 3 and 10 minute. So modulating the symbol, modulating the time frame, we're going to be able to do most of what we want to do. And the final way that we can modulate the workspace is to change up the way that the indicators are plotted. So the quickest way to do this is really just to right click on the actual indicator, and you'll find the plot information there. For TS, or excuse me, for T2 that we're looking at here, we can change the buy stop and sell stop values here. This is how we're going to be able to change these to X's, to plot X's instead of dots. And again, just right click on the indicator that you want to change. It'll be selected automatically. And here, for example, we can change the buy, which is that first blue or red dot, to an arrow. And we're just going to select up arrow, down arrow, and you can see that reflected here in the chart as well. And if we save this, those settings are configured within the workspace. So if we go ahead and close it and reopen it, you'll see that those X's and that up arrow and down arrow are now saved as part of this workspace. So you won't necessarily need to change the indicator settings, but it's just one of the things that you may do as well. Hopefully this helps to get you started. If you have any questions on how to do any of this, just give us a call or send us an email and we'll be happy to help.